Right now at 6, a weather impact alert as we prepare for snow, sleet, ice, or all of the above.
Don't leave home in the morning and expect the conditions to be the same as on your drive home.
And Hood River, as well as the Gorge, bracing for sub-zero wind chills.
This is pretty cold for us. It feels like more like Colorado or Utah weather.
Plus, what we're learning about a Portland mother whose toddler son died of a fentanyl overdose, who finally appeared in court.
Then later, in a brand new KGW investigation, they're not taxes, and no, you didn't vote for them. So what are these mystery fees raising your utility bills?
There's no need to go to the voter. It's instant money.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. David Mulco here along with Christine Pitawanich. We want to get right to what we're calling a weather impact alert. Right now it is 35, 36 degrees and dropping in the Rose City on a day that was dry with clear skies, with all of that about to change in a big way over the next 24 hours with the potential for ice and snow up and down the valley and beyond.
We have team coverage tonight. Devin Haskins is in North Portland with how Peabot is getting ready for slippery roadways. But first, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafino in the Weather Center for the very latest. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Christine. Thank you very much. We've got the weather impact alert for Thursday and Friday. Look for snow to begin tomorrow morning in the metro area about 8 a.m., but sooner down the valley. In fact, it may begin to do something snow or freezing rain in Eugene as early as about, say, midnight tonight. So, yes, it is going to move from south to north. We will end up with slick roads throughout western Oregon, including the Portland area. School closures will be likely. I don't know if they'll be closed tomorrow morning, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had early releases going home early tomorrow afternoon. And be prepared to stay home if necessary, because the roads will get worse and worse as we go through the next couple of days. Now, right now, the closest precipitation to us is way down off the coast of southern Oregon and northern California. So there's nothing close yet, but that'll be changing by tomorrow morning as the storm system offshore gears up and overrides the cold air that is in place. So the purple area from roughly Wilsonville south through Eugene, that's an ice storm warning because the icing will be significant, as much as a 2/10, maybe a quarter of an inch of ice, and some of the Coast Range valleys may get even more than that. For the Portland area, we are under a winter storm warning because we'll get more snow, a little less ice, but probably both, and the precipitation type may bounce back and forth for a while tomorrow night, meaning it'll go from snow to freezing rain, sleet, back to snow, that kind of a thing, as we get this mixed type of precipitation. So again, it is going to get really messy during the day tomorrow. Look for snow to begin in the metro area about 8 a.m. or so. By Thursday afternoon, 1 to 3 inches of snow by tomorrow night. It changes weather, mixes with freezing rain. Doesn't really end until we get into Friday. And we still have these strong east winds in the Gorge. There's a high wind advisory for the east side of Portland. Cold weather advisory out in the Gorge for wind chills down around 0. So next couple days is going to be a little bit rough, guys.
Yeah, appreciate the timeline there. We'll hear a little bit more from you in a little bit. Thanks, Matt. Let's get to Devin Haskins now, live outside the Peabot Yard in North Portland.
I mean, Devin, so to speak, the calm before the storm here. Walk us through how crews are preparing for the worst now.
Well, David and Christine, Peabot says the plows here behind me ready to go when that snow builds up so they can get out there and plow it. But it's something they've also been preparing for by putting down de-icer over the last week so they can get ahead of the situation before it gets worse. A day before the snowstorm rolls in, Peabot says their snowplows are ready to go.
We've been pre-treating our routes with magnesium chloride, that is the de-icing liquid. We've been focused on the Thursday potential event for about a week now.
Dylan Rivera with the Portland Bureau of Transportation says that the city's 56 plows will focus on city streets that are crucial arterials, and says residential or side streets won't get touched.
We are laser focused on making passable routes for police, fire, and ambulance providers to be able to respond to life safety emergencies throughout a winter event.
ODOT and Multnomah County are also among the multiple agencies gearing up for the incoming snow and ice and the impacts it'll have on travel. Both agencies say crews have been treating roads with de-icer already, and that crews will be working around the clock.
Please do not be surprised when traveling. Check current conditions before you go, and don't leave home in the morning and expect the conditions to be the same as on your drive home.
Another concern besides the snow, the freezing rain we're expecting Thursday night into Friday morning.
You know, if it was just a trace of snow or potentially an inch of snow, that might be some cause for concern, but freezing rain is just dangerous.
And while we all wait for what is to come, Rivera says Peabot plows will be dropping down salt ahead of any snow.
We're expecting to use road salt tonight in advance of the Thursday storm. It's very effective when used proactively ahead of snow or ice.
One of the big messages that all the agencies say is that if you don't have to travel, don't stay or delay your travel. Also, if you have to leave your car because you can't simply get up a hill or maybe up one of the roads that's covered in snow or ice, don't just leave it in the middle of the road and block a travel lane, because you could get a ticket and most likely get towed if you do. Back to you.
Another good reminder and good advice tonight to plan ahead. The time to prepare is now. Thank you, Devin. We'll take you east to a time lapse from our sky camera at the Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles with an extreme cold warning in police for parts of the gorge, as Matt said, and also the Hood River Valley.
Of course, that means a pretty bitter wind chill out that way. Our Daisy Caballero has the latest from Hood River.
David, Christine, good evening. Yeah, locals tell me that they are not too concerned because they're used to these gusty winds and very chilly temperatures. But they tell me, yes, of course, they are taking the needed precautions and bundling up a little bit more than they usually do. Now, this extreme cold warning kicks in tonight at 7 and lasts all the way through tomorrow at noon, impacting the western and central Columbia River Gorge from Corbett to the Hood River Valley. Temperatures will drop to the teens overnight, but the wind chill will feel close to single-digit temperatures, maybe even to 0 degrees in some locations. So we spoke with locals on their afternoon walk earlier today to ask how they're feeling ahead of this upcoming weather event.
It's kind of like rain in Portland.
It's pretty normal here. I think, the extreme weather is kind of what we get a lot of in the winter, so I think we're always prepared for anything.
The cold's not too bad. It's clear. It's kind of nice. Anyway, it's not raining, so that's good.
Now, here are a few tips to better prepare yourself for these conditions. Dress in layers and cover all exposed skin. Limit or avoid time outdoors during this weather event. That includes your furry friends. Please don't forget that and make sure they're bundled up too. Just like little Miss Ruby here, who decided to cut her own walk short because of those chilly conditions this morning, according to their owner. And since we've been here at around noon or so, winds have started to pick up and will only continue into the overnight hours and also through tomorrow. Back to you guys.
You could hear the wind there, see it, and almost feel it. You can stay with KGW for continuing coverage and updates on all this winter weather. Look for the latest on air, plus anytime on KGW.com and our streaming app, KGW Plus.
In your headlines, a Portland mother whose toddler son died from a fentanyl overdose nearly 2 years ago has now been charged in connection with his death. Kelsey Hawes pleaded not guilty this morning to charges that include first-degree manslaughter. According to court documents, in June 2023, her 22-month-old son was found unconscious inside their apartment after he found a straw that had been used to smoke fentanyl. The child was given Narcan but died at the hospital. Documents say Hawes admitted to detectives that she was a fentanyl user but believed any drug paraphernalia had been secured in a locked box. However, authorities allege that straw was found loose in the apartment and tested positive for fentanyl. A preventative detention hearing is now set for tomorrow.
Police in Vancouver say reported gunfire early Tuesday morning turned into a major drug bust. Just before 2:30 a.m., people living just off 4th Plain Boulevard along Carlson Road called police after hearing gunshots. When officers arrived, they heard more gunfire and found 2 men in a driveway, one of whom they say was armed.
On the ground! On the ground!
After handcuffing them, a search of the home and another location turned up 12 pounds of meth, 20,000 fentanyl pills, heroin, 2 handguns, and more than $100,000 in cash. The 2 men were arrested and booked into Clark County Jail on numerous drug-related charges.
And a winter storm on the East Coast has postponed the Senate confirmation hearing until next week for Lori Chavez DeRemer. She, of course, is President Trump's pick to be Secretary of Labor. He nominated the Republican former Congresswoman from Happy Valley after she narrowly lost her re-election bid in November to Democrat Janelle Bynum. Chavez DeRemer will have to win over Republicans who are skeptical about her labor-friendly record and Democrats who believe the president's agenda is hostile to unions. That Senate committee hearing is now set for next Wednesday morning.